Hi all you cool cats and kittens. This is Amy and I'm going to show you some basics about the program Prezi. Now when you log into Prezi, or when you just go into the website actually, it'll take you to this master page. And we're going to be going over the Prezi Classic. That's the one I'm most familiar with, so we're going to do that. Click on Prezi Classics. Once you've already made yourself, obviously, an account, here's my account, Amy Edmonds, Frost Middle School. And as you can see, I have about 26 presentations that I've created or changed a little bit. But we're going to take a look first at one of my Prezis so you can see all the different approaches you can use to it. And let's see, we're going to look for, nope, bad argument's a good one. Okay. So these are all ready made. You can use them, you can access them. Right here, mine says it's public and it's reusable, so I have that open for everybody. And you can, once you become a member or whatever, which is free, unless you go pro and do all the other add-ons and things, then you have access to all of their Prezis that are also open to public and reusable. So you can copy, borrow, steal, loan all these, and it's a good resource for what other teachers and other presenters are doing. It's also good for students because it also provides them with a different way of looking at things. It's not just slides upon slides like PowerPoints. This kind of gives some movement. It gives them lots of visuals. It changes it up from screen to screen so that you can hold on to their attention span just a second longer. But here, let's take a look at this one, which we call bad arguments when we're doing our argumentative unit in English, primarily with our 8th graders. This is most relevant for them. All right, so I started off with this, and the kids just try to get engaged with it. I'm going to go back. Okay, so I would present this as if it was a PowerPoint and go through all the things. And I've also added a bit of a hook here with a video that shows this woman having a bad argument and going over the details. So as you can see, the screens move around from place to place, and you can have different colors, you can have different boxes, you can have arrows, you can have different prints. Oops, I'm going backwards. Anyways, you can zoom in. You can move to the next thing. This is actually the picture of one of the Prezis that we had obviously done because it's evidence, been there, done that. So that was a Prezi that we did there. So they should be familiar with it. Oh geez, I'm going backwards. Okay, sorry about that. So you better have this in your notes. Obviously they did that moving forward. Fallacies and propaganda, which is perfect time for this with all that's going on in the news. Zoom in. Zoom, 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 zooms in. Zoom out. Zoom in. Zoom out. So there's a whole bunch of things you can do with the way you move around the screen. I added, again, more videos, just a break from all these things. So again, to try to keep their attention. Move. So now let's take a look and see how we would develop our own Prezi. Because you won't be going this fast, especially when you've put all the work into it, when you've created one. I'm just trying to show you what magic can happen between these things. All right, so if we go to Prezi, going back to the classic board, and we can start a new presentation. Okay, so you would just click on that. Oh, gotta run. All right, now we're going to practice making our own basic presentation. Now again, I'm in the classic mode. I'm not very familiar with the new one, and I just like this best. So you're going to go and you're going to click on New Presentation. And from there, They're going to offer us a whole bunch of different templates that we can use in order to develop one that already has a beginning and an end format. So here we can choose our template. If you know a specific one, I can put it in there. I'm going to go with more because it's going to show us all the ones that they offer. Over here is just some that they are kind of highlighting right now. But you can scroll through, pick any of these. They're pretty good. They use a lot of good visuals. Let's see, we're going to pick one that I haven't done before. And they add on to these after a while too. Let's see. Let's do suburbs to cities. Okay, we're going to use that one. All right. So this is what your working menu looks like. And it's a little bit to grab onto, but I'm going to just try to take you through the basics so far. On our left-hand side, we have all the slides per se and where they're going to end up. So we start here, and that's a little thumbnail clip size of this big overall box right here. And then from here, it's going to go to slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through. Okay, but back here, we can come in and give it a label. Okay, so click to add title. Okay, just click on it. All right, and we're learning to use Prezi. Okay, so that's my title. It looks kind of boring, so I'm going to go in and give it a different color. Aqua green, one of my favorites. And then I'm going to change the font. Give it a little pizzazz. Oh, that's a little smaller now, so I'm going to pull it out to make it bigger. I'm going to squish it over. So as you can see, the tools are very user-friendly, easy to use, easy to maneuver. I can pull, move, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can also change so there's a background to it. And if I don't want it, I don't have to have it. I can center it. I can add bullet points, all these things that we're pretty familiar with, like in Basic Word. Okay, learning to use Prezi. So if I'm content with this, I just click on a void spot and there it is. That's what it's going to look like. Okay. Then it can go to the next slide. And you saw that? It went from here to there. Okay. Now again, you just click to add, All these things super easy. All right, so this is slide number 2, which correlates with slide 2 right over here. Okay. Now I can say adding material to your Prezi. Okay, so you can add material in the means of different text. You can go and say, no, I don't want text. I'm going to click off of it and I'm going to insert something. So up here, they make it really easy. You can insert images of your own. You can insert symbols and shapes that they provide for you. And each of these that are on the side, on the right-hand side here, these are separate menus of a whole bunch of different symbols. So like I click on that and here's a whole bunch of symbols I can import and put in. If I don't like that, I can check this. Oh, there's so many different ones. I don't know. Too much information. I don't know. Let's see if I can find roll of tape. Oh, banners. Okay. But there's so much stuff for you to choose from just in their little menu of items, which I use a lot. Okay, but let's say I want to insert a document that they should be familiar with. So I'm going to go to images and I can pull out from any of my menus all my stuff here. Lots of information. I don't know what I want to use. Okay, let's see. What's in my stuff file? Oh, plot diagram. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. There it is. Okay. So this is maybe something the kids are already familiar with. Maybe it's a handout that I already gave them. Maybe it's from notes in the past, whatever. Maybe that's the first time we're using it. But I can take PDFs and even, I believe, Word documents and put them into my slides as well. Okay, so here's just an example of adding material to your Prezi. And I'm going to shrink it down so it'll fit better in my box here. And then I can add some stickers if I wanted to. Let's see. Thumbs up. This is good stuff. Gotta love it. I can make this bigger, smaller. I can tilt it. Okay. Now that we have our thing full right here, and as you can see, I'm going to close this so we see. So this is what our screen would look like, the whole circle and everything. Now if I wanted to bring it in tighter and closer, I would go into these brackets and frames right here, and I can put a bracket around it, I can put another tighter circle around it, a rectangle, an invisible piece, which I'm going to use on this one. So all you do is click it, and then click and drag onto where you're going to do it. Okay, then you can open it up and make it bigger, move it around. So if I want to really focus in on this plot diagram, I just put it right there, set it on there, and it's done. Okay, click outside. Now, since I had made this while working on number 2, that became my number 3 slide. So if you're going to add slides by zooming in or zooming out, you're going to go to any of these frames. Okay, so now that we've done from 2 and zoom into 3, there we go. That's what 3 looks like. I can even add an invisible frame and zoom into my heart. Zoom to frame. Oh, and again, I can add text just by clicking on it. And just do all fun stuff. I'm going to do white. I'm going to make it bolder and larger and centered and in there and done. Okay, now let's say I just wanted to have this little piece, but I didn't want it to be a big screen like it is here. I would click on it, right click it, and edit path. Okay, and then I would come here. Now that there's all these weird lines and things, this is actually showing you the methods of where it's going to go from here to there to the next to last, whatever. Okay, so if I didn't want this to be a frame, I would just go right here, remove this path point. It doesn't mean I've removed this, it just removes that path point, so when I'm going from one place, from 2 to 3 to 4, my 4 isn't zooming in on this piece right here. Okay, so, and then I just go done. Okay, make sure you push done though. All right, so I'm going to go back to 2 and then to 3. Okay, now you can also animate. If I'm going to go back to 2 and I don't want to give away everything right away, you can animate by putting your right click and you're going to animate frame contents. And now these are what's in your frame. So you can click on any of these things to make them appear later. Okay, so I'm going to, like this one's going to be number 1. This is the first thing that's going to appear. Maybe I want this one to be 2. Then I want my thing to be 3. Then this one, 4. And the writing, 5. So I can see how that's going to turn out by pushing play right here. Okay, that, and that. Okay, so that's in the order that I want it to come in, and that's what you'll see it as. And as you can see, it went down to even the minutest of that. If I didn't want to have something zoom in like the first one, I could just click on this to let go. And it'll play, but it'll keep that. So here's an example. Okay, and that kind of keeps it interesting. The only bummer with that part is you can't just set one piece up into a timer. Like you can't put one frame timer-wise. Maybe that goes into their pros, but you have to click like next slide for every time you have something that's a fade-in effect. Okay, so there's that. Now, one thing I suggest when you have the fade-in effects and you're going into something deeper and deeper and tighter is for you not to jump from one to the next so quickly, because you can get, like, kids can get seasick or visually impaired that way or whatever. But so instead of that, I usually pull out and I drag with my two fingers to pull away, and then I might make this a new screenshot. So I'll pull and drag a frame, and I'll use it so that they can get closer without getting sick. So then back zoom to frame. And you see how it's number 10 over here? It turned into number 10. Well, I don't want it to be number 10. I want it to be between my 2, 3, and 4. My 3 and 4. So I'm going to push this, take this frame, I'm going to right or left click it and drag it up to be between 3 and 4. Right there. So now if I'm at 2, and then 3, and then 4, it's a little pausey breaky right now, but it does it a lot smoother when it's in the actual thing. Okay, so it's going to go from here now to there. It's not 4 anymore, now it's 5 there. Okay, and then we can add video even. All right, so that's just in your insert. You can add video by just clicking on the YouTube link, putting one in there. You can upload one yourself, I think. Yeah, from the files right there. Okay, and then so it's pretty endless. Like if you don't like this frame right here in number 5, this, you can change it. Let's make it a circle. Oh no, let's make it a rectangle. Okay, so it's pretty endless. You can go and do a whole bunch of things, and it's just a great visual tool that I really enjoy using, and I hope you do too. So let me see if I can take you back out to Prezi.com. You'll leave the page. Now it saved all that stuff that I want right there. Now you can see that you can explore presentation galleries right here. Teacher picks. Let's see what they have. So these are ones like teachers have already put together. So if we really liked this coronavirus one, I'm going to click on it. It's loading. Now this was made by the people of Prezi, as you can see right here, Prezi Education. Okay, and it's grades 7 and 8, or 9 and 10. And if I really liked this, but I was like, you know what, I need to change some things because these aren't the standards we use in California. So you can just make a copy of it by pressing make a copy. and it'll end up in your own library or dashboard. And from there, you can edit and change things just as if it was something you've already made before. Hopefully that'll show us in a second. But even when you're doing a Google search, if there's a topic that you're looking for, I know I was working with my 11-year-old on nuclear semiotics, and there was a Prezi on it. So I got a fast way of being educated while not looking like a moron with my 11-year-old. So, again, great tool to use. I hope you give it some time. You're going to be really pleased with the turnout, and it's going to really change presentations, whether it be a professional development that you're going to have to give, or something you're going to have to show your kids, even if you wanted to make like a cute little birthday or party presentation. I think this is a really nifty tool, and the point of it being cheap and free is also very beneficial. So give it a shot and let me know what you think of it. Thank you for your time.